Martin from Touratech. We've been talking about the low crash bar, we have been talking about the skid plate. Now we have here, additionally to the lower crash bars, we have the upper crash bars. Tilo, again a little bit about the material. This is the same like with the lower crash bar, so that means you were telling me we have a stainless steel crash bar. Actually, we were just checking this, it's 25 millimeter diameter. Yep. The thickness is again 2 millimeters, it's pretty much the same. And we have decided to go for the black version, of course, so this is powder coating again. What about the scratches? We were talking about electro-polishing of the stainless steel, where you really don't see any scratches, more or less. How about this one?
For the black version, we do have really a strong powder coat on the surface, which is have a nice thickness, so it takes long to put scratches in there. And once if there is a scratch, you don't have to pay attention on that, because on the surface there is still this stainless steel.
Okay, so even if I have scratches, there is no corrosion on the stainless steel crash bar. Okay, this one is mounting not on top of the small ones, but separately, but they're mounted directly onto the frame?
They're mounted onto the frame on the lower part, as well as they have a construction that is mounted behind the headlights.
Okay, so they are being fixed together. Okay, but that also means, as we have been discussing before, I choose now the hardcore version, so I have the smaller skid plate, but additionally the small lower crash bars plus the upper crash bars. We'll have a look later how they fit on, but they pretty much cover the plastics, so that they can't get scratched. What about the tank?
They cover the tank as well. So once you drop the bike in
a ditch or something?
Yeah, something like this. It could happen that the bike totally fall over, and then maybe you have a damaged tank. So that's not nice at all.
Okay, yeah. I mean, bended tank still works. If there is a hole in the tank, it's leaking, I think. So that shouldn't be happening. What I have been thinking a lot is, I mean, if I'm traveling on a long distance trip, I want to take pictures, so I put a large tank bag on top, where I think it's a Pro Digital, we call it, which means that the new digital cameras can fit in. When I'm going hardcore off-road or even more off-road, I prefer not to have a tank bag, so I can bend a little bit more forward, I have a little more space for the legs. So this is why I decided to have a look at these bags that fit on the upper crash bar. How does that work?
They were especially made for the crash bars. I can show you this here. They're just a slip-in version. Just put it over, secure it by the Velcro, and you do have some liters for additional gloves or a bottle of water or something like this.
Okay, you were mentioning it's Cordura. So that means I can put my rain gear in there, and if I drop the bike, it doesn't go through and it doesn't damage the rain gear.
It is a Teflon coated Cordura with a really high abrasion protection, so you need to scratch or to slide a lot on tarmac before anything happens.
Okay, it doesn't matter when my rain gear gets wet because it's made for that. What about the waterproofness of these?
The material itself is highly water resistant. Nevertheless, it is a sewn thing, so they are not 100% waterproof, but it doesn't matter if you have the rain suit inside.
Okay, that means my mobile phone I'm going to put somewhere else, but everything else like rain gear or some other stuff I can put in here.
So it is.
Okay, we'll mount these later on when our colleague is finished with the suspension. We have here talked about the skid plate, the small skid plate, plus the lower crash bars, plus the upper crash bars, plus some luggage here. It probably will look more wide, more brutal, which I personally like. It has more the look of the adventure sports version of the Africa Twin, but I was trying to choose the lighter version. In the end, we'll probably have a look at the adventure sport, so it looks pretty cool in the end.